Hey guys, how are we doing? Welcome to today's discussion points, and that is, what should the cost of living be really here in Pattaya? And the reason I'm asking this question is I get a lot of people saying to me, oh, this is more expensive now, that's more expensive. And I thought to myself, well, let's ask the question, what do you think the cost should be? And today I'm fighting with the sun. The sun's beaming down on my old boat race here. I'm actually on holiday with my mum at the moment, with my wife and my family, so hence why it's not your usual let's look at the buzzing logo behind me. Guys, very quickly, if you haven't already, have a look at our members area on our buzzingpattaya.com website. It really is going from strength to strength. It's a great platform. There's loads of information on there, so please have a look on there, guys, and let me know what your thoughts are. So, while we talk about the discussion points here, what we'll do is I'll get Bo to put some overlays on you, but we'll do that in a second. But the question is, what is the acceptable amount of the cost of living here? Because a lot of people keep saying, oh, it's so expensive, and it's not as much fun anymore. Well, let's have a think about this and let's have a chat. What do you reckon, guys? Okay, Bo. So, Bo, can you put the overlays on now for me? There we are. Right, so the first thing is, everything in this world goes up. That's a given, unfortunately. I wish it wasn't. I wish we could go back to halfpenny chews. Who remembers those? I wish we could go back in time and do that, but unfortunately we can't. And I think, in all fairness, out here, irrespective of the cost of living and the increase in prices around the world, I still think that we offer a huge discounted area that you can come and enjoy in comparison to other places. And one of the questions that I was given the other day, and I thought, what's a really cool question, is about the cost of the BART bus. We still pay 10 baht to go anywhere around the city, maybe 20 baht if you want to head over from Pattaya over to Jomtien. But the reality is that price hasn't gone up. But when you look at the actual cost of running that BART bus, well, to be fair to them, the price of fuel now is a lot more expensive. I don't know about their insurance because obviously I'm not a BART bus driver, but I would hazard a guess to say that they're probably a little bit more expensive than it was, and it must go up year after year, I would imagine. And the upkeep of the vehicle, if you go out there and you need to get your vehicle serviced and all those kind of things, these are costs that these BART bus drivers need to incur. And also, they need to make a living, of course. They need to make money, they need to be able to afford to feed their families and to live. So, when you look at it in that side of things, do you think the BART bus should actually be 20 baht a ride rather than 10 baht? And I know there's a lot of speculation saying, yeah, but if you're a Thai, you pay even less, and they try to charge the phalanx a little bit more. Yeah, I know that happens, but in all fairness to them, you can't blame them really, can you? You can't really blame them. At the end of the day, you're here on holiday, you're cash rich, they know that, and they're trying to dip their toe in your wallet. So I think at the end of the day, that's not really completely and totally unacceptable. It might not like it, but I think it's a fair do and it's a given. So the question is, guys, what would you like to pay, or would you be prepared, should I say, to pay 20 baht to help the BART bus drivers to cover for the costs that they've had to incur over the last 2 or 3 years? Well, I don't know when. I don't even think the BART bus has ever gone up, and it's not subsidised as far as I'm aware. Let's talk about the beers right now. Now, there are a lot of bars here that are offering happy hours, a lot of bars that are offering discounted time schedules. And, they're there because they need you to come in, or they're trying to encourage you to come in because their costs have gone up. The landlords now are charging more rent. Some of the demands that I've heard about that are going around the city, quite frankly, they're just ridiculous. And what seems to be really disappointing is the demands are coming to landlords, from landlords to these bar owners. And a lot of these bar owners have been with that landlord for a long time. Yet here they are faced with an increase in their rent. So, those side of things have a knock-on effect. Beer prices. Beer prices here are going up. And so, it is just a multitude of things that are sadly increasing, that are meaning that when you do come out here, maybe, just maybe, it's not as cost effective as it used to be. And I get people saying to me, yep, it's nowhere near like it used to be. I'm going to go to Cambodia or to the Philippines, or to, Malaysia, to these other areas. And I can't say, because I've not been to the Philippines, I've not been to Malaysia, I've been to Cambodia. Cambodia was very good, I enjoyed that. I don't know what you think about Cambodia, but for me, it was a great trip, and I will go over there. I plan to go there this year. I'm going to go over there for 3 or 4 days, and I want to do a comparison. I want to come to the channel and say, right guys, this is Cambodia, this is what I found. This is Pattaya, this is what to expect. Where do you see the future? What is your choice of pleasure? But going back to the bars, they're happy hours. We do a happy hour in Buzzing at this moment in time, and it's 39 baht a beer between 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock. And, it's a very, very popular time frame, of course, but we make zero of it. We make absolutely zero out. But the logic that Stephen applied was, well, hopefully, if you come there for those 2 hours, you may well stay a bit longer, or you might pop into the Escape at Go-Go next door. Some guys do, a lot don't. A lot go off and enjoy their evening, and that's fine, that's not a problem. But the point being is, even if we get 20 guys to sit down and have a cheap drink, maybe 1 or 2 will stay. Maybe the girls that are serving or the girls that are working in the bar perhaps might get lady drinks. There's all these little knock-on effects that help towards the increased cost of staying here. The one thing that has seemed to have stayed steady is the cost of hotels. From what I'm told, and I get a lot of people talking to me about what they're paying and where they're staying, it seems to me that hotels are the only one given and that just seem to have been fairly level. They've not really increased any of their prices as such. I don't know, maybe you can help me out there, guys. If your hotel has gone up, has it gone up a lot? If your hotel price has gone down even, what do you now pay? Where are you staying? Give us some feedback on it, because I'm crap with hotels. I've always said that, I don't do hotel reviews, not because I don't want to, but simply because it's not something I'm very good with. It's not something I'm very up to speed on, because I don't stay in hotels. Obviously, I live here. So, if you are in a hotel, what's the cost there? Have they gone up considerably, or are they fairly level? You hear the old cockerel out there. In terms of restaurants, I mean, food is always fairly level. There's, you can't walk 100 meters without finding food at very reasonable rates. It's a bit of a shame because some of the restaurants here tend to get a little bit of stick because they charge more than others. But then on the other side of the coin, it's the quality. I did a restaurant. I did a video with a restaurant the other day about some very high-end, very high-quality steaks. And Patrick's Steakhouse, it's got a reputation that most restaurants would love to have. But the reason he has that reputation is because the cost of the food that he brings over and the cost of the food that he puts on your plate is a lot higher than if you were to nip into a local Thai shop and have a bit of kapau mulsap. So you've got to pay for what you want. And it's not like, I can understand the people saying, oh, it's got more expensive now, if restaurants or people selling beers were still paying the same prices as they were, say, 5 years ago, but are now charging considerably more. But they're not. A lot of these restaurants are trying to absorb a lot of the costs. A lot of the bars are trying to absorb a lot of the costs. And it ain't easy. You guys, wherever you are in the world, some of you, I'm sure many of you will be in business. You'll understand the concept about trying to absorb the increase in running costs. It happens here as well. I know it's our little bubble, it's our little world, and we all love to come here, but unfortunately, there are a lot of additional costs that come in that maybe we just don't appreciate. Another aspect is bar fines. There's a lot of unhappiness right now, let's be honest. There's a lot of unhappiness right now regarding the cost of bar fines. I get probably 10, 15 messages a week saying, I'm not being funny, Trevor, I came here, I walked in, I had a great time, wanted to pay the bar fine, it's like 1,000, 2,000 baht, etc., etc., etc. But when you look at it from the other side of the coin, it's not quite as straightforward. You imagine now that you're an go-go bar owner. Let's just say, okay, you're a beer bar or an go-go bar owner. And I want you to be honest, let's not make this a slating match. Let's just be honest with each other. And you need one thing and one thing only. You need girls to be sat in your bar so that when a customer walks in, he knows he's got a good chance of having a good time. Well, that's going to come at a cost. So now look at the girls aspect. Yep, I'm going to go and work in this bar and they're going to pay me 500 baht a day, let's say. Or I can go and work in the go-go bar and they'll pay me 1,000 baht a day. Or I might actually not have to go to work. I could stay at home because my knight in white shining army has sent me over 5,000, 10,000 baht and I can stay at home. So the bars have got to entice the girls to come to work. And how do you do that? How would you entice the girls to come to work if you owned a bar or a go-go? Be honest. How would you do it? Because it's not as straightforward as maybe it seems. The reality is that these girls, they are very sharp operators. They're very, very clever. So what they do is they talk to each other. Oh, where are you working at the moment? I'm working in such and such a place. Oh, how much are they paying you? Oh, they pay me this. What contract are you on? I'm on a 10-day contract. Hey, I'll come and work. Can you ask the mama-san? And then the mama san says, yep, come on in, let's come and work. And now the other bar has lost another member of staff. So how does he compete? He has to charge more. So by charging more, in order to get more income, in order to give the girls more money, he's the bad man in this. You know, you've got to look at a bar owner. He gets the landlord nudging him, hey, you know, we need to increase your rent. We get the beer suppliers saying, hey, we've got to put the price of beer up. I mean, electric and water is irrelevant, really. I mean, saying that, they spend a fortune on electric. But the point is, then you've got the girl saying, no, boss, I don't want to come work now. I work somewhere else. Why is that? Oh, because they pay me more. Do you see the situation we're in? It's a really tough one, and it's one that I feel sorry for everybody. And also, at the end of the day, I do feel sorry for you guys. You know, you work hard all year or whatever, you know, you're working hard, you're accumulating the money to come out here and have a great time, and then you're presented with a higher cost of expectations to have fun here. And that's not a good thing, is it? Let's be straight with each other. So what do? How do we overcome this? Do we just suck it in and say, do you know what, that is what it is? Maybe your 3 holidays will become 2. A lot of the flight prices, I'm being told right now that some of the flight prices are coming down, which is a great thing to happen. And hopefully that will encourage more people to come out here and to enjoy themselves. If you can save some money on your flights, a bit more money in your pocket, if it's enough money in your pocket that you'll come out here and have a great time, maybe 2 weeks, you know, you might have to readjust. Instead of coming out for 3 weeks, maybe you come out for 2 weeks and you have a great time. But the point I want to make in this video is that, you know, it's easy to point the finger. Oh, this is too expensive. Oh, they're charging more. They've put their prices up. Well, that's not good. And I get that. I totally get that. But the reality is, why? You know, I get this messages saying to me, oh, you know, they're just greedy. These go-go bar owners are greedy. Trust me, yes, you know, they do make good money, some of them. A lot of money, some of them. But at the end of the day, they take a lot of risks. You know, you imagine, would you have the balls to say, right, I want to go and hire 80 girls on 1,500 baht a day? So what's that? That's 80, that's 120,000 baht. That's roughly 3,000 English pounds. So would you have the balls to say, yeah, I'll do that and I'll guarantee you that money for 10 days solid? So 3,200 pounds, that's 32 grand. 32 grand English. I don't know what that converts to if you're in a different country, but 32,000 pounds English for 10 days. Man, I don't sleep at the best of times. I think if I was in that situation, I just never would sleep. I'd be petrified. Because at the end of the day, the girls, you know, the girls have a quota. A lot of the girls, they say, you've got to get these amount of drinks because it helps compensate the owner for paying out this salary. And, you know, the bar fines, why are the bar fines so high? Well, now be that bar owner. Just be that bar owner for a second. Imagine you've got, say, 30 girls, let's just say. And things are looking good, and say 9 o'clock at night when things start to get moving, or 10 o'clock at night, half of your girls want to go off and do their thing and enjoy their evening. And now you're left there with just half of your girls. And you know deep down in your heart that when a customer walks in, he's going to go, well, that's a bit empty. Nah, I'll go somewhere else. You know that, guys. You know that because you've done it and I've done it. It's just a part and package of what we expect. So now we're in that situation where, again, what do? The only way to try and keep hold of your girls for a set amount of times is to put the price of the bar fine up. And of course, you walk in, you sit down, you have some beers, you have a great time. Should we go off tonight and go and have some fun? Yeah, great, that'd be fine. Here's the bar fine. You're like, how much? Like, are you serious? And it's a negative. But then if all the girls go and you walk in, that's a negative because there's no girls there. It's like, man, what do you do? I don't know. It was just a weird video today. I just thought, you know, there's a lot of things that are being chucked around right now at the moment. A lot of speculation. A lot of guys coming over here, which is great. And it's great to see you out here. It's fantastic. And a lot of guys are still, despite the fact that the prices have gone up, are having a good time. A lot of guys are coming back to me and saying, Trev, I've just had a fantastic 2 or 3 weeks. And that's brilliant. No, that's what we want you to do. We want you to have that great time. But be prepared, guys. It's not as it used to be. It's not the cost that it used to be. Everything's gone up. I don't know how comparative this is, and this is your personal information, so please don't share this. It's none of my business. But I would hope, or I would imagine, that maybe your salaries have gone up in comparison to the cost of living. I don't know, so please don't, you know, I don't know anything about this situation. It's none of my business, but I would hope that that has happened in order to compensate for the cost of living coming out and the expenses. So there we are. I don't know, guys. It was just a real sort of like, I don't know, it's been niggling me for a while, if I'm being honest. I've had a few times where I think, geez, like, what do they do? You know, You're buggered if you do, you're buggered if you don't. You know, whatever way you go, you're going to be buggered. And you know, not a lot of people like being buggered. But at the end of the day, it's just such a tough time. You know, we remember it back from the old days. Oh, I remember when I used to come out, it was 75 to the pound. A beer was like 40 baht, it was pennies, it was nothing. You know, but girls were like 200 or 300 baht bar fine and 1,000 baht for a long time. Yeah, I can share those memories too. But they are memories. And the reality is right now is, you know, this is where we are and this is where we go. I've also had a few people say, do you know what, Trev, I can go out and have just as much fun now as for less than the cost of coming here if I was to go to Europe. I mean, that amazes me. That really does amaze me, because I've got to be honest with you, the one thing Europe's always been, for me, was been expensive. But nevertheless, if you can find these places, I mean, I say that, Prague was decent. I enjoyed Prague, that was good fun. But you know, what the point I'm making is, if you can go to Europe and have the same amount of fun, for the same amount of money, would you travel halfway across the world if you're over in the UK to come out here and to have as much fun but for maybe more money? Don't know, a bit of a difficult one. But guys, you know, this is the beauty of what we got here. I love the community. I love your feedback. Like, you know, I read every single comment. Nobody's doing it for me. Don't think, oh yeah, he's got Bo or Ian or someone else answering on his behalf. None of that happens. You have my hand on my heart. I do every single comment. So I love reading it. This is what makes the channel so much fun for me, because I'm a people person. So I like to see what you think and how you think and what your views are. So there we go. Anyway, that's it for me today. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Like I say, just a little quick one. Cost of living in Pattaya is going up. What's the solution? How do we get around it? What would you do if you were in charge? How would you overcome it? There we are. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Please, as always, remember, hit the subscribe button and also the bell icon if you'd like to be notified when I bring out a new video. Please have a look on our new members area, or buzzingpattaya.com. Have a look on the left-hand side menu there, drop down, there's a little click there where it talks about our members area. I'm bringing more and more content to that now, which I can't bring to you here, so that's great. I'm really enjoying that. It's going very, very well. Have a look on Discord, totally free of charge. We're at 10,000 members now, so jump in there. So many experienced people there, so many people that can help you and share information that I perhaps can't help with, particularly hotels and stuff like that. So have a look in there. And if you'd like to support the channel, there's a link in the description below. Thank you so much indeed for watching, guys. And please, as always, wherever you are in the world, stay safe.